What's up, everybody? We got a little midweek Touchin base here for you guys. I am back in town for one day before I'm gone again. Shout out to you guys for doing the duo episode. I thought you guys knocked it out of the park.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Some would say we're a dynamic duo. We got it done.
You guys were awesome. If I have one note, when you guys were talking about beer, the pretentious. Oh, I like a good Gutkenheimer Schnaff. It's a good sniffing beer. No, there's one beer, and it's Coors Light. It's the best beer of all time. You guys in your fancy pants crap. Other than that, you guys are fantastic. Thank you guys for holding down the fort while I was getting sunburned at the gorge.
Well, Patrick's back. Welcome back,
Yep,
Patrick.
Patrick's back. Back to how we do things normally.
Your head did get burnt out there at the gorge.
A little sunburned.
bit? Okay.
I protected it a lot, but there's only so much you can do.
Did you wear a hat?
Yeah, a lot of time. Actually, I just caked on sunscreen. I was prepared.
Well, it's always a good time out there. Glad you're back for one day.
I'm glad to be back, too. It was not fun while I was gone. Not a lot of fun baseball. This was an abysmal road trip.
Yeah.
Win
And you're
two
going
games.
out of town again?
Yeah, I'm going to
No,
be in,
don't go, dude. You come home, we win one game, and you're going out of town again? Fuck.
I know I'm going to be in San Diego 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm glad I was able to come here and do this. But what is going on with the Mariners? We are fortunate enough that we have the cushion. We needed that cushion, especially right now.
Oh, yeah.
The Houston Astros have been surging. They're finally back to 500 for the first time this season, and they're playing quite well. Mariners needed every one of these games. We're still 10 games over 500, which is nice. Thank God for the cushion, but they need to right this ship before it tips too much.
Yeah, we're just getting a taste of how momentum can shift during the season. The Mariners were not like the hottest team, but they were pretty dang hot for the last month and a half or so and built up our little cushion. We still have a 10-game we're still 10 games over 500 right now. 9 games over 500 still, maybe. Yeah, 46 and 37. That's pretty decent, but we're 4-6 in our last 10, while Houston is 8-2 in their last 10. So things can start moving quickly. 4.5 games is still a nice cushion, but also the wild card is getting a little more busy too. Boston surged up; they're 43 and 37. Kansas City's hanging around there at the same pace, 44 and 38. And then Houston's coming up behind them. And if Houston keeps surging, then we have something to worry about. It's not a given that the Mariners are going to win the division, even though it feels good early in the season. It's not even the All-Star break yet.
I'm just losing to the Marlins like that. I mean, they're like 20-something games under 500. We go on the road, and to drop 2 out of 3, and the first game, just nothing happening. And then in the third game, Bryce Miller falling apart at the seams.
Yeah.
Just bad baseball. The strikeouts are still through the roof for the Mariners. Not a lot of hits, and they have their big offensive explosions in game 2 in Miami. They scored 9 runs, a 9-0 blowout for the Mariners. And you're like, okay, that was game 2. Let's see them bring that energy for game 3.
Yeah, let's keep it on the rails and get more consistent, score more runs like that. No.
Our pitching is not good right now. Our bullpen is struggling hard. We have dealt with injuries. We're hoping to get Spire back, at some point. But, man, our bullpen, which was our strong suit at the beginning of the year, is now faltering hard. Too many strikeouts at the plate, unproductive outs. It's just a lot of issues right now.
Yep.
And my big issue with this starting pitching is Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller. Castillo is really, really frustrating for me. He's not an ace right now. He's not a terrible pitcher. He's not garbage, but he is not ace qualities. It's like 6-9 record, and I know wins and losses can be finicky and don't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say it doesn't mean anything.
It matters a little bit. And
Logan Gilbert's record should be a lot better based on his performance, but gets no run support. Felix's win-loss record is affected heavily because the Mariners had no offense and gave him no run support in a great start all the time. So wins and losses, they matter and they don't. There should be more dubs than there are usually if you look at a pitcher's win-loss record and their offense isn't that good. That you can just pretend there's more wins there. You know what I mean? Like Luis Castillo should have more wins instead of no decisions. So should Logan Gilbert. But at the same time, yeah, Castillo hasn't been his sharpest self. And it's all about command for him because he'll leave him over the plate. Like I've always said, he just trusts his stuff a lot. Goes out there and throws his best stuff at like a quadrant or like a half of the plate. And hopes for the best, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes he hangs it. He tries to pitch at the top of the zone, sometimes leaves it in the zone, and it gets clobbered. So that's his style, and he maybe needs to work on command a little bit more, but just doesn't have that touch because when his stuff isn't the best, then the results aren't the best.
Well, I've noticed he seems to be going with his changeup a lot more. He's been throwing changeup heavy his last couple starts, and it's getting hit hard, and he's not deviating from the game plan. It seems kind of weird that he's really pushing this changeup right now, and it's not effective. I don't know what's going on, why he's choosing to push this pitch, if it's a coaching staff thing. But it's not working, and it's shown that it's not working. He's giving up 2 runs early in like his last 5 starts.
Yeah,
something like that.
I think it's a thing where it's all about speed. You know, like he has a lot of pitches that are similar in speed, and that one will change their. I don't know. It changes how they see a pitch, and then you can speed him up again. But yeah, I mean, when he leaves a changeup in the zone, it's getting mashed. I know off-speed pitches are. Up in general. Pitchers are throwing more changeups lately throughout the league. It's become more of a pitch to throw, like righties to righties. They're doing it a lot more than they ever have. And I don't know. I hope it's just a phase because it's not effective. Just use your sinker and run it down and in on them instead of that changeup, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what it is, if it's a pitch mix thing, but it's always location based for Castillo. And leaving it in the zone, getting hit hard, doesn't help the Mariners win games. So,
and I know you guys touched on this in the last episode, but I wanted to add my 2 cents with the Scott decision making with hitters, with pulling Ryan Bliss when he's 3 for 3. Like what are you doing? I don't get it. You're taking your hottest hitters out of the lineup constantly, depending on the matchups. Like Luke Raley can't hit a left-handed pitcher, like Bliss can't get a hit. I don't understand this decision making, and it's costing us games.
Yeah, Canzone did put a good swing on it and made a good throw in the field after that, but at the same time, Bliss that was 3 for 3 that day. He was hot throughout the series and should have had that opportunity. They gave it to him when he had his first opportunity to get it done. They left him out there and had him swing or like.
Oh, that's when they pinch hit Rojas. They pulled Rojas to put Bliss in that moment, and we thought he was going to bunt, and they had him swing away. And then in this game, Bliss is 3 for 3, and they pull him for Canzone. It's
what the hell?
It's baffling decision making.
You don't have to play every player at every juncture. You know what I mean? Like, leave your best hitter out there. He's your best hitter today. He was your best hitter yesterday. And then he sits for 2 games because Polanco comes back from the IL. And then Polanco hits 2nd and hits 6th. It's like, what? Why? He should be hitting 8th or be on the bench right now. You know, the least worrisome place in the lineup is 8th. 9th at least has a job to do. Like 8th is kind of like where you're like, all right, just put someone there and we'll pinch hit for him later. He should at least be hitting 8th or starting on the bench. Bliss, after having 2-3 hit days, gets benched for 2 days straight.
It's crazy to me.
Why?
That is crazy. And Scott, time and time again, is showing that he's not going to change that strategy at all. He's going to keep doing it.
I'm so curious as to what his reasoning is. And that's like one frustrating thing is like, at least tell us why you're making these decisions. I mean, it's still not going to make any sense because it's wrong, but at least tell us.
Scott pisses me off like that, man. They're not very straightforward with their reasoning. They dance around the answer, and Scott knows he's too comfortable with the media and knows he doesn't have to give a direct answer in any way. He can just dance around it, and that's going to be that. And he can just say, like, no more. Like, no, I'm not going to say any more and
I
walk
have my
away.
reasons.
Yeah, exactly. So he kind of stonewalls and gives the PR friendly answer for layman fans who aren't reading between the lines and moves on with it. And it sucks because we're sitting here like, at least give us something. Like, why? We can dig into stats all day and still not understand, like, what's going on here. Why can't Bliss hit a right-handed pitcher? That's just untrue, you know? So, whatever. That's just the way Scott is, and we need to get some new life in here after this year, man. 9 years is enough of that face and this kind of decision-making. We need to get someone with more feel for the game and at the helm of the Mariners dugout there.
I do want to touch on, well, everything seems kind of doom and gloom right now. It has been a rough road trip. It's been a rough week and a half. The Mariners still have not been swept this year.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. The worst series that they have had is when they dropped 3 of 4 to the Twins. Other than that, they're either, they're etching out one win, a series. They're allergic to sweeps for better or for worse. Mariners haven't been swept, which is crazy. That's a positive. Bliss's defense has been really, really phenomenal. I really like his hands out there.
Is Bliss better than Polanco at this point?
Yes.
Right now, yeah.
Yes. And one more positive, Garver at catcher. He is great. Threw Caballero out today on a beautiful strike him out, throw him out double play. Garver has really turned around, and him catching a lot has helped, and I like his defense back there.
Yeah, he's good behind the plate. He always has been, and I'm glad he wants to do it, and he's still nimble. He's still got a good arm, and hopefully he can stay nice and healthy, and it helps him hit better. I mean, he hit a bomb the other day to left field. It looked real nice. I think it was even on a breaking ball, which isn't his strength. But
Has he caught for anybody besides Kirby yet? Or is he still just kind of rolling with that? Kirby pitched today, and he caught.
Yeah. I think he's caught once for another pitcher. I can't remember off the top. Maybe a Miller start. But
or maybe one of the dudes we called up, Hancock or what's his name? The lefty. But just for that spot start maybe. But I think it's mostly been Kirby.
Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz. Yeah.
Yeah, that could have been. It's hard to remember.
But it just depends on when Cal needs a day off behind the plate, and I guess they've been lining it up with when Kirby starts recently, and that works out.
Yeah, it's cool. I like Garver at catcher.
Me too. We got rid of Zavala, made an extra spot for Polanco to come back without having to send Bliss down as well. Like Locklear got sent down, of course, because he was the most expendable piece at the time, because we don't need 2 Ty Francis on our roster. Being right-handed first baseman only is kind of what I mean by that. But yeah, we're here, and we're sitting here with Polanco and Garver, and not Garver, Polanco, the other Mitch Haniger on our roster, and we're kind of worried about those guys at this point. So what do you think, Patrick? We kind of talked a little bit about it.
So I like Mitch Haniger on the roster. He does have that veteran presence. He's been around the Mariners for a few years now. He knows how the team works, and he does have that clutch factor. He really does. In late game on the line situations, he just has that little it factor that comes through in the clutch. However, I would like his playing time diminished. I would like to see more of Canzone, more of Rayleigh, and keep him as a bench bat, veteran leadership, but he does not need to be our starting right fielder.
Yeah, the problem is we play the left-right matchup all the time, so he's in there. I mean, he's in there even against right-handed batters a lot, but we do need to see Canzone starting more games. I agree with that.
Yeah, Canzone has a killer arm, good range, and I like Canzone a lot out there. I think Mitch Haniger deserves a place on this roster, just not as much playing time as he's getting.
Yeah, every time I see Canzone running around in right field, I'm like, who's that? That's not Mitch Haniger. Like, this dude looks like an athlete. He's moving. He gets around balls really well and takes a good path for a throw. Canzone, I like him in right field. And yeah, Mitch Haniger, every time you see the ball hit to him anywhere that's not right at him, you're like, can we get the ball in, please? Like now, because he's taking third all of a sudden. Like, it's happened a few times now where I've noticed the decline in Haniger's defense out there, and it's not good. But we're paying him just this 1 year, right? We're at 1 year.
It's over 10 mil, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it here, but yeah, either way, we're paying him too much to do what he's doing. And if we have it'd be nice to have him around. We need to wait until we have expanded rosters, though. I think Mitch Haniger can stick around. Do you think Polanco is going to be around that long?
I don't see it. I'd be okay if...
I don't think he's really a trade target for anybody, but like we might have to DFA Polanco because we have a club option for him next year, and we're not going to pick that up.
No.
So, and pay him $12 million? No thanks. We're only paying him like 9 or 10 this year. Not only, but we're paying him that much, and it's already this point in the season. If we do trade for somebody, I think he's the first on the chopping block. Like DFA, just eat that money and get somebody better.
Yeah. Do you think anyone would pick up Polanco as part of a package?
I think they'd rather force the Mariners to DFA him and pick
get him
him
for
up on a
free.
waiver,
Yeah.
on the waivers, rather than trade for some value.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone's going to trade us anything we want for Polanco
Sure, yeah.
or as part of a package.
That makes a lot of sense.
But maybe, but it's not really a salary dump because the contract isn't long.
Yeah.
It's just like this year, club option next year. So they're
Sure.
only picking up a few million, and it's not really worth it for another team to do that, in my opinion.
Well, the Mariners dropped Dallas Keuchel, who was pitching for the Rainiers.
Yeah.
We never used him. He's probably not Dallas Keuchel that we used to know.
Oh, he's been washed for a while.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the Brewers even wanted him. That
Yeah.
surprised me.
So
the
they
Brewers
picked
picked
him up
him
for
up.
cash.
Yeah.
Yeah, for cash considerations. Is it reading too much into it to think that the Mariners are hoarding cash, stowing it away to try and pay some expensive players?
That
to
seems
come
like
in?
a marginal move for the Mariners.
It's very marginal, yeah.
In my opinion, it's kind of a thing where you do that where we don't have space for him. We don't think he's going to be on our major league roster at any point. So if another team wants to buy him and give him a shot at a major league roster again, and it's better for that player and their,
Sure.
to do it there and have a better shot, then sure. Like if they have enough pitching injuries that they need Dallas Keuchel to
Right,
possibly
yeah.
pitch major
No, I'm
league
not
innings,
saying,
then I think the Mariners are nice enough to just sell him and
sure.
give him that
So it's
shot.
not about picking up some extra cash on the side to spend later.
Doesn't
It's
hurt.
also-
Doesn't hurt.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the only reason, but is that a sign that kind of points to maybe we're really trying to spend real money, not marginal money?
It's a good sign.
I mean, I certainly hope so. I have heard from DePoto and Stanton that they want to be buyers at the deadline and that they believe the team has what it takes this year and they want to grow. Now, let's just hope that that's not lip service and they put their money where their mouth is and actually follow through.
Yep.
And the trade deadline for baseball, it always, as it gets closer, you kind of just wait for the dam to break. Like no one really makes the first move. And then once it happens, then people are moving all over. And there's a lot of sellers this year. Angels are sellers. Blue Jays are sellers.
Yeah, maybe Blue Jays or Bo Bichette and Vlad are on the talking points at least. I think they've made a statement that said they don't want to trade Vlad, but that's just kind of a how hard do you want to try to come and get him from
Yeah.
us? statement. So it is a lot of PR, and I hope it's not lip service. The last big move they made is getting Luis Castillo 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And that's like right when we started doing this podcast is when Luis Castillo came over here and made a huge difference. So if they can make a move like that at this deadline for someone offensively, then I think we're in a good spot. But they should go for more than one player. One very like marquee bat.
Yes.
We need one Vlad Jr., please. Something. Who else? Luis Robert. He strikes out a lot, but he has a ton of power.
What would you say to Randy Arozarena?
I kind of like it. I think he would fit our team well because he's the kind of guy that loves to take an extra base. He'll look for any opportunity to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He can play a decent left field. He's right-handed at the plate, so that'd fit our team really well. And
Rayleigh and Canzone can both play right field.
Yeah, and they're both left-handed batters, so it fits well, but that would kind of push Mitch Haniger off of our roster.
Yes.
Unless, we shuffle the infield around and DFA Polanco or send Bliss down and carry all the veterans for some reason. But, I hope the Mariners do something sooner than later, and I think Randy would be a nice fit, man. I don't know. I think that's been talked about in the offseason.
Yeah.
And I think it's relevant now more than a Lars Nootbaar was last year when we needed a left-handed bat before we had Canzone, before we had Rayleigh. Now we don't have that need. Now we kind of need a right-handed bat. Luis Robert and Randy Arozarena are great options, in my opinion.
I'm just throwing a name out there. I'm not saying that's the guy we should go after.
Randy.
Yeah.
I want Randy.
That'd be cool. I'd be down.
I wanted him. I think he fits our team well.
I just want to see a move be made. I want to see the ownership actually follow through and really try to help this team make the postseason. I mean, win the division this year. It is a possibility, but we need some added help. And you have to spend money to make money. We're going to have to let go of some guys, maybe some people currently on the MLB roster, maybe some prospects, but that's what you have to do to make your team better, and I need to see it happen this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, when we got Castillo, we traded away Noelvi Marte, and look what happened to him.
Got popped.
Yeah, for PEDs. So you never know what's going to happen with prospects. Are you mad about trading any of the prospects we've traded to get anything back so far? No. Anything we have that prospects-wise, wheel and deal, baby. We have all those guys. We have some top 100 prospects, guys that other clubs are really interested in. So use it. We've been building up this capital. If we can use our prospect capital to sign up even a rental, like we've been saying about Vlad Jr., it's for this year and next year. He does get paid a lot in arbitration, and because he's won awards, he does get paid highly in arbitration, but fucking pay it. We can pay him $20 million a year to help this team get to the playoffs more, in a strong way. And that adds to our team. Go get him and Randy. Trade from our prospect capital that we've been building up 4 years when this window is still wide open and we're in first place. Make the first move, maybe. Go break that dam that Patrick's talking about.
I don't even know if it is a long shot, I think. But if what they're saying about spending is true, maybe it's not such a long shot. I just think it would be so cool to have Randy and Vlad on the Mariners.
I would love that.
You kidding me?
That would be fun.
I got goosebumps.
I do too. That's
Shit,
tight.
Dude. That sounds sick. Let's do it. Hey, Jerry, Justin, let's do it.
I like the attitude that especially Randy would bring. I think it would be fun for the team. It feels like it would be a good fit. Unfortunately, though, we also have to consider maybe getting bullpen help, which at the beginning of the season, we thought wouldn't be an issue at all. We thought our bullpen was going to cook. They were cooking. They were one of the top bullpen arms in baseball. And now that is out the window. And it's not just all injuries. Guys that were performing at the beginning of the year are now struggling. Thornton today got his first career save. Congratulations to him. but he has been struggling. Voth has been struggling. Bizzardo should be playing. He should be at a Foot Locker wearing a ref uniform and hooking people up with Nikes. I don't know what he's doing on a major league roster. I'm waiting for Spire to get back.
Yeah.
Santos, we keep hearing that he's getting closer, but
Yeah, I read that Santos threw, where was that? He threw BP, live BP. Oh, apparently today, 2 hours ago, another live BP set. But the headline from the Seattle Times was Gregory Santos leaves Mariners teammates in awe after live BP session.
okay.
He's like, hey, he's throwing live BP and he's throwing, game speed pitches, and the batters are like, whoa, hey.
I want to bring up that I agree we need bullpen help, but I think waiting on Spire and Santos to come around, things are going to change that way. And I don't know if we need to spend big money. Like you said, relievers are a dime a dozen. Jerry and probably Justin too are amazing at going after relievers and marginal relievers who show up. They get with our pitching program and they're shut down dudes.
It's
So
true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think we can go get bullpen help and sign 2 big bats.
But it sucks because the guys we have in our bullpen are kind of those type of guys where sometimes they work
We
out
need
and
new ones.
sometimes they don't. Yeah, we need a little shuffle.
Not these ones. Yeah, shuffle the deck a
Because
little
these
bit.
guys aren't Penn Murphy. They're not Eric Swanson.
Matt Brash.
They're not
Casey
Matt Brash.
Sadler
Yeah, they're
is
not
a free
Paul
agent, I guess.
Sewald.
I don't know if he's any good.
When
but
those-
he was
when-
good for us.
Those guys were great in our bullpen, right? And now we got the B's instead of the S's. We liked all our S boys, and now we got a B problem. Bizzardo, Bauman, Bolton. It sucks, man. But Voth is so frustrating. He'll show you something good, and then he'll just blow up. And then a lot of this is happening with a lot of our bullpen pieces. But I think Thornton overall is going to stay. I don't know if they'll hold on to Voth. I think Voth can be valuable, but he hasn't been lately. Bolton seems like he has some potential, but I don't trust many of our other pieces in the bullpen right now.
I mean, I would only
that's it.
trust Thornton and Munoz at this point. And even
Munoz
went out there today and
Stanek has
fucking
been better
full-blown
lately.
botch job.
Yeah.
Munoz made it scary today. Walk, hit batter, walk, pull him. It was brutal. It's almost like our bullpen needs just a reset. The next off day, take them all to the spa or whatever. Get them massages, get them pampered, get them something
They need to go fishing together.
something.
I don't know.
Charter a boat.
And
Yeah.
and with the trade deadline coming up, I don't think that we're gonna trade 1-for-1 for a reliever.
Right.
But I think if we are giving up prospects for a bat, probably a reliever would also come over in that trade for whoever we're gonna get.
Yeah.
And I think just a little bit of extra help right now is what the Mariners need because the bullpen has been faltering. It's been a struggle. We went from being lights out to now getting lit up.
Oh, lights on.
Yeah. Well,
The
hopefully
lights are fully on.
Yep.
Spire and
Santos.
will make an impact after. It'll probably be after the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But before the trade deadline, maybe one of those guys will be back. Who knows? But we do need help in the bullpen. When we have expanded rosters, it'll help, especially one of those spots is definitely going to be a bullpen arm. That's the way the Mariners work. Hopefully they get a higher leverage arm, but not spend a lot of money or capital. You know what I mean? Hopefully they don't have to work too hard to get someone who is more proven rather than maybe we just go get Eric Swanson back. You know what I'm saying? Someone we're comfortable with, someone we know can get it done in the situations, and they're comfortable here and at our stadium where we're playing our best baseball. I don't know, just throwing shit out there, seeing what sticks. But our bullpen does need some help, and you're right, Patrick. we've been talking about the offense for years, though, and bullpen is something that I think it's a feel thing where all of a sudden these guys can be on fire again for like 2-3 weeks and then get blown up a few times and then go on another stretch. I don't know. I feel like they can turn it around. We have talent back there, but it's not the high-end talent we expected early in the year, and it's not one of the best bullpens in the league like we were saying it should be early in the year. I don't know. Pitching's still our strong point. We need more offense. The pitching is going to be good and bad, but the offense needs to consistently score 4 or 5 runs to win the division.
What do y'all think about trading Bryce Miller at the deadline? He's a guy, he's our 5th starter. He could easily sit 3rd on most major league teams, I think.
Before we have that discussion, Brian Wu went down with a hamstring.
Which is different than the other injuries he's been dealing with, too.
Yeah.
Because he was dealing with arm stuff. Now it's a hamstring. Hamstrings can linger forever, like.
So, without Wu and his string of injuries,
We might not be able to afford to
Get rid of
trade
Miller.
Bryce Miller.
yeah, we might need Miller around. But if
Yeah.
we were fully healthy and strong and Wu was continuing his dominance and everything looked fine and healthy, I would be willing to have that conversation. Not that I want to, but
Yeah. No, I know it sucks trading dudes.
But if we trade Bryce Miller, you get quite a return at this
A Vlad
point.
or a Randy.
Yeah. So it just depends on if someone wants that major league ready arm or they want younger prospects that haven't started their major league clock yet, depending on where they are too, depending on the team we're trading, if they're fully rebuilding or they're trying to add now for the next couple years,
Yeah,
Depends on what their outlook is too.
sure.
But that would be a really huge trade piece if we decided to. We just don't really have the depth to fill that at the moment. But hey, the White Sox, Garrett Crochet, baby. What if we need a starting pitcher and we go get a guy like Garrett Crochet?
Damn.
Add a Randy Johnson to our team.
I mean, the White Sox have a couple young pitchers, and the White Sox are the worst team in baseball. So it's not like they're stockpiling anything. They're going to be sellers.
Yeah, they need prospects.
But I also wonder if they know that these starters are worth so much that they're going to ask a king's ransom to get them back, especially with them being so garbage that they're like, you're going to have to buy the farm if you want any of these guys.
Didn't they say that about
They have to sell high.
Robert?
Louis Robert? They were like,
The asking price was crazy high.
yeah.
They can't look stupid while their team sucks and then get a shit return for one of their best players, And Robert does have a very team-friendly contract, so you got to pay an arm and a leg for that because you won't be paying, you won't be paying Luis that much over the 8 years that his contract is or whatever it is. I don't know how many years it is anymore, but I feel like that's what they signed him up for initially is 8 years, 175 or something like that. But just guessing. I don't know. I'll look it up.
I want the Mariners to make some moves. I want the Mariners to keep winning games. I want to win the division. I want to see playoff baseball.
Yes.
And I do take some solace in knowing that, this is what the cushion was for, right? We aren't one game ahead in the division and, every game is life or death. It is nice that because our cushion was so big that we can have an atrocious road trip. And even though it did hurt in the standings, especially with the Astros playing as well as they are and them catching up, we still have a cushion, which is nice.
But I don't think it should be understated how significant of a blow it is to go 6-8 on your road or
2-6.
yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Not 6-8. That's good.
Yeah, that would be a fine road
that'd
trip.
Be amazing. No, we had a terrible road trip.
It was
and that
bad.
sucks.
And when one goes up and one goes down,
It's
things
a
come
big
together
setback.
quickly. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
two oncoming trains, just like you get on each other quick, and you never know. In another week, dude, if things go the way they did this last week, then we're looking at a whole different division and a whole different picture for the Mariners. But at least we know what they're capable of and what kind of winning streaks the Mariners can get on when they're playing their best baseball, when they're pitching well, when they're scoring runs when they need to. It's all about the moment for the Mariners. It's not like they're just some days they go out and score a lot of runs, but most days there are moments in the game the Mariners pull through and get it done in many different ways. When they couldn't stop winning, the Mariners were finding ways to win every day, and we've added a bunch of tools to our belt. So I'm confident in what we can do. It's just, are we going to deploy our tools properly? That's hard to trust too. So I like what's going on. I don't think the sky is falling. I like the Mariners. I think they're a good team, and they just have to go out and prove it to everybody else now.
The big help is that tomorrow the Mariners have an off day, which is nice. They need it. And we have a home series coming up. However, it's going to be a rough series. I mean, just with the teams that we are playing. So we've got 3 against the Twins, and then 3 against the Orioles, and then 3 against the Blue Jays.
The Birds.
So it's going to be, our record at home has been phenomenal, and this homestand really needs to set the tone that, hey, that was a terrible week and a half. Everything kind of went to shit. We had our off day, we reset, and they need to have a nice a nice homestand to show that, hey, we're back. It was a little rough patch there. Shit happens, but we're back in our groove now, and especially if they play the Orioles well, if they play the Twins well, those are huge games. And the Orioles had a bit of a struggle recently. They just got swept at home by the Astros.
Yep.
So
they were not helping out the Mariners.
No, and so they're probably a little frustrated. The Baltimore is probably a little frustrated right now with that home getting swept at home.
They're going to be coming in hot.
Yes, and so this next homestand is huge.
Not to mention, those two teams are the first and second teams in the wild card right now. They're not first in their divisions, but they are holding it down. They're chasing their divisions. This is playoff caliber baseball. And thank God we're at home where we're playing our best baseball.
They still need to play prove it though.
Let's not embarrass ourselves. Yeah. So I do have Luis Roberts' contract up. I was guessing completely. So he's signed through 2025. So it's through next year. It was a six-year, $50 million contract with a 26 and 27 team option. So very cheap right now for how good he is. He has a Gold Glove and a Silver Slugger. Just saying, dude's really good. We could use that. But I would rather have Randy and Vlad. But anyway.
And another issue with Robert is he's a center fielder, and we have a center fielder. Not that center fielders can't play corner spots, but they tend to not want to. Center field, you're the king of that outfield. And so you're not going to ask Julio to change positions. And I don't know if Luis wants to be in a corner spot. And I've seen issues before. This was way in the past, but Mike Cameron, when he got traded to the Mets and they had him in right field, him and Carlos Beltran in center field had a lot of issues with communication because they're both center fielders by trade. They're used to taking command of the ball and control of the outfield, and it led to some issues. And so that's why I'm a little hesitant about trading for another strictly center fielder, because there are egos at play, and it comes with the territory of being a center fielder.
Yeah, good point.
I think it really depends on the player too.
True.
Remember when we went through this with JP when we were talking about signing up, I think Trey Turner or something like that? who are we talking
Yeah,
about?
we were talking about the
And we were
shortstops
like,
on the market.
yeah, shortstops, and we're like, well, JP would move to second
Dansby,
base,
Swanson.
and we were like, he probably doesn't want to. And then he came out and was like, I'll play whatever position needs to be played if
Yeah.
it helps the team.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. There probably are egos at play, depending on the player, but I think a lot of dudes are team guys too.
Yeah, I
They'll
think
do
that-
whatever they need to do.
If they see the potential in the team they're going to,
But I
they'll
definitely
play
understand
left
what you're
field.
saying about center fielders specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I could see some. I already see it when you say Luis Robert in left and Julio in center. I see it in my head already. So the problems are potentially there. Yes,
And we're already having
Likely.
issues with communication in the outfield, although that has gotten better.
has gotten better. Yes,
Yeah,
I haven't
Randy.
seen a
Does
lot
Randy
of
play
that
center?
lately.
Randy's a
Left
left
field.
fielder. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he can
not-
play corners.
He's
but
not the strongest outfielder, and he's definitely a left fielder.
Cool.
And yeah, that's what I like about him too. Is like he plays left field, and he's right-handed bat, and he's
It's perfect. We got
That's
an
what
outfield
we need.
upgrade. We got a first base upgrade.
World Series, here we come.
Yep.
Hey, I did call the Sebi Zavala DFA a couple weeks ago and said magic. So I think we're doing the same thing here. Those guys are top of our list. So now let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Magic.
Open the checkbook.
Seriously, let's make some moves. And the trade deadline is exciting. It's fun once the dam finally breaks. But every year it seems to get pushed later and later. No team kind of wants to be the first one to kind of chip at the ice and break
Yeah.
away at it.
This is usually a trickle of DFAs and small moves like us selling Dallas Keuchel to loosen up all the tight ends before we go into
It's the crack in the dam, dude.
Yeah, and then the All-Star game happens, and then finally someone will get traded, like, after that. But I don't know. I think the Mariners should fire the first shot here. I hope the Blue Jays are willing to trade Vlad, because I hope the Mariners should be one of the top contenders for a guy like that. If they're not, I don't know what they're doing. We've been saying that for a couple of years, though. Like, go get a top-of-the-line guy, this marquee bat, a silver slugger, a guy that hits 30 home runs for sure.
And stop trying to find this diamond in the rough, lightning in the bottle. Oh, he was good like 4 years ago. Do you think we can revitalize that magic? No. Get someone that is good right now, that is
Yeah.
proven, not trying to roll the dice and hope for the best.
The AJ Pollock, the Colton Wong, and this year's Polanco and Haniger. Like, we did it a little bit better this year, but it's still just like, come the fuck on. Let's go up one tier and spend a little money. We still have an $80 million cushion before we're like over the luxury tax threshold. Let's do something about that. Let's use that space that we've had building up, and like, let's go.
Spend that money.
It's go time, baby.
Trade the prospects, spend the money to extend some of our pitchers, and lock us up through at least through 2027 here. We need to get our team
And lock up Cal.
together, and then look at locking up Cal for our future as well as our pitchers. So I'm saying until JP's contract is up, this window is wide open, and that's the end of 2027, I believe, or maybe 2026. The end of 2026 might be it. But either way, we need to be as good as we can be until then. And then we can talk about the whole how well we drafted and how well our
Right.
team looks after. We'll probably end up trading Castillo at that point because his contract goes another year or two after that. But we won't need him if it'll just be a whole nother shuffle after that. So that's what I'm saying. JP is Mr. Mariner. He's best Mariner. And when his contract is up, this window is closed.
So yeah, we got a couple years of this window being open. The Mariners have been playing well, and they need to capitalize on it. I can't stand to watch this window close without more playoff appearances. This is our time. We've waited a long time for it. Please make it happen.
Let's make it happen right now.
October baseball in Seattle. Pretty please.
We would love that. Seattle would love that. Everyone would get behind their boys. The 2022 felt like they just did a big cash grab and printed a ton of merch, and then 2023 just like sat on their pile of money and didn't give us what we needed. So let's fucking go. 2024 is the year we're getting the guys we need and going straight to the top and getting deep in this playoffs.
Yeah, I say let's spend the money. Let's win. This was Touchin Base, a nice little midweek episode. I appreciate you guys accommodating me as my schedule is rough for the next few weeks. Thank you all for being a part of this and tuning in and following us for Mariners news. And we will be back sometime next week, make you the most informed fans in baseball. Thank you all so much for listening, and go Mariners!